How to Prosper in Hard Times by Earl Nightingale. Lesson 1. The Law of the Mind. We become what we think about most of the time. Your mind is the most powerful instrument in the universe. It is a marvel of creation, unlike anything else known to man. I've spent decades studying the human mind, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that within your mind lies the key to every success or failure you will ever experience. Think of your mind as a powerful radio transmitter and receiver. Each day, it broadcasts signals into the universe and simultaneously receives impressions from the world around it. The quality of your life, your achievements, your happiness, your prosperity depends entirely on how you tune this remarkable instrument. The most successful people throughout history understood this fundamental truth. They recognized that thoughts are things, powerful things, with tremendous creative force behind them. When hard times come, as they inevitably do, these extraordinary people don't change their mental frequency to match the gloom around them. Instead, they maintain their broadcast of success, opportunity, and abundance. You see, your mind doesn't distinguish between what's physically real and what you vividly imagine. Feed it images of lack and limitation during difficult times, and it will faithfully produce more of the same in your life. But program it with expectations of growth and prosperity, and it will work tirelessly to bring those conditions into reality. For the next 30 days, I challenge you to put this law to the test. Begin a strict mental diet where you refuse to dwell on fear, doubt, or scarcity. When news of economic downturn reaches you, simply acknowledge it, then return your thoughts to the opportunities that always accompany such shifts. This isn't wishful thinking. It's applying the most fundamental law of achievement. The static of negative thought patterns is perhaps your greatest obstacle. These automatic responses, worry about money, fear of the future, doubt in your abilities, are merely habits. And like any habit, they can be replaced. Each time you catch yourself thinking about what you don't want, immediately replace that thought with what you do want. This mental discipline, practiced consistently, will transform your life with remarkable speed. Remember, hard times don't come to stay. They come to pass. Throughout human history, every economic winter has been followed by a spring of unprecedented growth. Those who prosper most are those who plant the seeds of opportunity during the coldest seasons. Each night before you sleep and each morning when you wake, take 5 minutes to conduct a thought inventory. What have you been thinking about most? Are these thoughts aligned with prosperity and opportunity? If not, gently redirect your mind to thoughts that empower rather than diminish you. The law of the mind is as certain as gravity. It operates whether you believe in it or not. But those who understand and apply it consciously gain an extraordinary advantage, especially during challenging times. Your thoughts today are creating your reality tomorrow. Guard them wisely, direct them purposefully, and watch as they transform not just your perception of circumstances, but the circumstances themselves. Lesson 2. The Opportunity in Adversity. Wherever there is danger, there lurks opportunity. These words contain a profound truth that has guided successful men and women throughout the ages. This principle is as reliable as the changing of the seasons. My friend, when most people face difficult times, they see only the danger, the problem, the obstacle. They become frozen with fear, paralyzed with worry. They miss the golden opportunity that is invariably present in every adversity. But not you, not after today. Consider the great fortunes built during the depths of the Great Depression. While millions were focused on what they had lost, a select few were busy discovering what could be gained. They understood that economic downturns shuffle the deck, creating new openings for the alert mind. This pattern repeats throughout human history. The Chinese have a symbol for crisis that combines two characters, danger and opportunity. They understood this truth thousands of years ago. The greatest advances often emerge from the most challenging circumstances. To prosper in hard times requires developing what I call your opportunity radar. This is simply training your mind to automatically scan for advantage when others see only disadvantage, It's like tuning a radio to a frequency others can't hear. Picture yourself walking into a room where everyone is complaining about a problem. While they're focused on the difficulty, you're scanning for the solution, the opening, the chance to provide value. This mental habit alone can transform your fortunes. When markets decline, most retreat. Businesses cut back. People hunker down. But this creates extraordinary opportunities for those with the courage to advance while others retreat. The competition thins. Costs often decrease. New needs emerge that weren't present before. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. The prosperous few in challenging times aren't fearless. They're determined. They feel the same concerns as everyone else but refuse to be controlled by them. One of my favorite exercises is what I call adversity mapping. Take any problem you're facing and draw a circle representing it on a piece of paper. Then draw 6 lines extending outward, like spokes on a wheel. At the end of each line, write a potential opportunity hidden within this challenge. Perhaps it's a new skill you'll develop by solving the problem. Maybe it's a relationship that will deepen through shared difficulty. It could be a market gap created as competitors fold. The opportunities are always there, waiting for your discovery. Remember that prosperity isn't determined by external conditions, but by internal responses. The same rain that drowns the unprepared nourishes the prepared. The same economic climate that bankrupts one business enriches another. Your task today is straightforward but powerful. Begin training your mind to automatically ask, where is the opportunity here? Whenever you face a challenge, make this your habitual first response to adversity, and you'll be amazed at what you begin to see that others miss entirely. The opportunity is always there. The only question is whether you'll be among the few who recognize it and have the courage to act upon it. Lesson 3. The common denominator of success. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. This simple truth has echoed through the corridors of human achievement since time immemorial, yet how few truly understand its profound implications for their lives. My friends, I want to talk to you today about something remarkable, the common denominator that separates those who achieve true success from those who merely stay busy. This principle works with the unfailing certainty of the seasons, regardless of economic conditions, social standing, or education. What is this principle? Simply this: successful people develop the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. That's it. The secret is not found in some mystical talent or fortunate circumstance, but in the willingness to form habits that align with your worthy ideal. Consider the carpenter who builds magnificent structures. Does he wake each morning filled with boundless enthusiasm for every task? Certainly not. There are days when measuring, cutting, and hammering feel tedious. But what separates the master craftsman from the amateur is his commitment to excellence, regardless of momentary feelings. You see, most people confuse activity with achievement. They stay busy. Goodness, how busy we've become in this modern age, yet their efforts produce little lasting value. Why? Because they haven't first defined their worthy ideal, their genuine purpose that gives meaning to their daily actions. Your worthy ideal acts as the North Star, guiding your journey through both calm and stormy seas. Without it, you're simply adrift at the mercy of whatever economic winds happen to blow. With it, you navigate with purpose, turning even the fiercest headwinds into forward momentum. Now, let me be perfectly clear. Defining your worthy ideal requires honest self-examination. What truly matters to you? What truly matters to you? What contribution do you wish to make? What legacy will you leave? These aren't questions to answer casually over morning coffee. They deserve your deepest reflection. Once you've defined your worthy ideal, the path becomes clearer, though not necessarily easier. You'll face the daily discipline of aligning your actions with your purpose. Some days this will feel natural. Other days it will require tremendous willpower. The successful person pushes forward regardless. Consider this truth. Hard times don't create character. They reveal it. The habits you form today, particularly when facing adversity, become the foundation of tomorrow's achievements. Are you building habits of clarity, discipline, and purposeful action, or habits of confusion, procrastination, and aimless activity? The magnificent paradox is that those who commit to their worthy ideal discover an unexpected joy in doing the very things others avoid. The initially difficult tasks become sources of satisfaction when connected to meaningful purpose. My friends, prosperity isn't merely about accumulating wealth, though financial abundance often follows. True prosperity comes from the progressive realization that your life and work matter, that you're moving steadily toward goals aligned with your deepest values. This is the common denominator of success available to each of us, regardless of current circumstances. Define your worthy ideal. Form the habits that support it. And watch as even the hardest times become stepping stones toward your most meaningful achievements. Lesson 4. Attitude and the power of expectation. Your attitude determines your altitude. I've been saying this for years, and I say it because it's one of the most powerful truths you'll ever encounter. In the quiet hours of reflection, when you look at your life's journey, you will discover that your expectations have shaped your experiences more than the experiences themselves. The self-fulfilling prophecy is not some mystical concept. It's pure psychology at work in your daily life. What you genuinely expect with feeling and conviction begins to manifest in your experience. The mind moves toward its dominant thoughts just as surely as a seed grows toward the sunlight. During hard times, when economic clouds gather overhead, those who maintain an expectation of good, not through blind optimism but through intelligent observation, are the ones who spot the openings that others miss. I've known men and women who've built fortunes during depressions and recessions, while others around them were paralyzed by fear. What made the difference? Their attitude of expectation. They expected to find opportunity, and so their minds became keenly attuned to recognizing it. Cultivating unshakable optimism isn't about wearing rose-colored glasses. It's about training yourself to see clearly during storms. Practical optimism means acknowledging the rain while preparing to plant seeds anyway, knowing that sunshine follows every downpour. When you face each day with the expectation that you will find a way to advance, regardless of circumstances, you activate a powerful force within your subconscious mind. Your expectations are magnetic. They draw to you people, ideas, and circumstances that align with what you anticipate. A person who expects failure attracts the very conditions that ensure it, while one who expects success magnetizes the elements necessary for achievement. During economic hardship, this principle becomes even more pronounced. The masses expect struggle, and struggle and struggle they find. The achiever expects opportunity, and opportunity appears. Most interesting is how negative expectation patterns form without our awareness. A setback occurs, we expect another, and soon we're trapped in a cycle of anticipated difficulties that become self-fulfilling. Breaking this pattern requires conscious intervention. You must deliberately install new expectations through persistent mental rehearsal of desired outcomes. Consider this. Two salespeople face the same difficult market. One says, "Nobody's buying right now," and finds that exact reality. The other says, "The right customers are still buying, and I'll find them," and discovers this to be equally true. Same economy, different expectation, different result. Your attitude isn't just one factor in your success during hard times. It is the foundation upon which all other factors rest. When you control your expectations, you control your expectations, you control the most powerful force in your personal economy. Like gravity, this force operates whether you understand it or not. But unlike gravity, you can choose which direction it pulls. Begin today to expect good. Not from wishful thinking, but from the knowledge that opportunity and adversity are inseparable companions. Where one exists, so must the other. Train your mind to expect to find the opportunity, and you will never face hard times without also facing great possibility. Lesson 5. The Acres of Diamonds Principle. One of the strangest ironies in life, my good friend, is that most people are continually searching far and wide for opportunities that are actually right beneath their feet. I'm reminded of the timeless story of Ali Hafid, a prosperous farmer who sold his farm and wandered the world searching for diamonds, only to die penniless and broken. Meanwhile, the man who purchased Ali's farm discovered what became one of the richest diamond mines in history, right there on the property Ali had abandoned. This isn't just a fable. It's a principle that repeats itself in the lives of men and women every single day. In difficult times, this truth becomes even more vital. Most of us suffer from a peculiar blindness. We fail to see the opportunities in our own backyards because familiarity has dulled our vision. We look at our current circumstances, our present jobs, our existing skills and resources with contempt rather than curiosity. We've grown accustomed to looking without truly seeing. The first step toward prosperity in hard times is developing fresh eyes for the familiar landscape of your life. Begin by examining your current situation, not as a prison, but as a treasure map. What resources do you already possess that others might value? What knowledge have you accumulated that seems ordinary to you but might be extraordinary to someone else? I know a man who worked for 30 years as a mechanic. When hard times hit and his job disappeared, he didn't panic. Instead, he looked at what he already knew. He began offering simple car maintenance classes to people who wanted to save money by doing basic repairs themselves. What seemed commonplace to him was valuable knowledge to others. His acres of diamonds were in the experience he had taken for granted. The wealth beneath your feet right now is real, tangible, and waiting to be discovered. It might be in relationships you've cultivated over years, but never leveraged. It might be in skills you've mastered, but undervalued. It might be in assets you own, but haven't optimized. Consider the homemaker who turned her grandmother's recipes into a small catering business during an economic downturn, or the office worker who discovered his knack for simplifying complex procedures could become a valuable consulting service. They didn't acquire new skills during hard times. They simply recognized the value in what they already possessed. The most practical step you can take today is to conduct a thorough inventory of your existing resources. What do you know? Who do you know? What do you own? What do you own? What do you own? What problems can you solve? This isn't an exercise in positive thinking. It's a pragmatic assessment of real assets that can be converted into opportunity. Remember, the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence. It's greener where you water it. The acres of diamonds principle isn't about blind optimism. It's about clear-eyed recognition of value that's been hiding in plain sight all along. In times of difficulty, don't make Ali's mistake. Before you abandon what you have in search of something better elsewhere, make absolutely certain you haven't been standing on your own diamond mine all along. Lesson 6. The Service Imperative. The amount of money you receive will always be in direct proportion to the need for what you do, the difficulty in doing or replacing it, and the degree of service you render. This single truth holds the key to prosperity in any economic climate, but especially during challenging times. Consider for a moment how the world rewards value. The marketplace is remarkably efficient at determining worth. Those who provide exceptional service to many people receive exceptional rewards. Those who offer little value receive little in return. It's as simple and as fair as that. During hard times, people don't stop spending money altogether. They simply become more selective about where they spend it. They look for genuine value, for services that solve real problems for people and businesses they can trust to deliver what they promise. Here lies your golden opportunity. While others retreat in fear, you can advance with purpose by asking a better question. Instead of, how can I survive this downturn? Ask yourself, how can I be of greater service right now? What problems can I solve that nobody else is addressing? The intersection of your natural talents and the market's urgent needs creates a perfect sweet spot for prosperity. Perhaps you've been developing skills for years that suddenly have new relevance. Or maybe you notice problems that others overlook, solutions hiding in plain sight. I'm reminded of a shoemaker during the Great Depression who, while competitors were closing shop, noticed that people weren't buying new shoes. They were repairing old ones. He shifted his business to focus primarily on high-quality repairs with exceptional service. Not only did he survive, but he thrived, eventually owning 3 shops while similar businesses disappeared. The service mindset transcends mere transactions. When you genuinely care about improving the lives of those you serve, customers feel it. They remember it. They tell others about it. In hard times, this authenticity becomes even more valuable because it's rarer. People flock to those who treat them with respect and deliver on promises. Remarkably, economic contractions create perfect conditions to expand your service capacity. While competitors cut corners and reduce quality to save money, you can do the opposite. You can listen more attentively, solve problems more creatively, and follow through more consistently. This multiplier effect of exceptional value works like compound interest. Each person you serve exceptionally well becomes a walking advertisement. One satisfied customer tells another, who tells two more, and suddenly your reputation grows even as the economy contracts. Remember this: money is simply a certificate of service rendered. The more people you serve and the better you serve them, the more of these certificates you'll receive. It's not complex, though it does require commitment. Today, take inventory of your unique abilities. What can you do that others cannot? What problems do you solve with ease that confound others? Where do your passions align with pressing market needs? Answer these questions honestly, and you'll discover your service imperative, the unique contribution that will allow you to prosper regardless of economic conditions. Lesson 7. The Strangest Secret. Have you ever flipped a light switch without pondering the complex miracle of electricity flowing through your walls? Most of us use electricity daily without understanding its scientific principles. We simply know it works. The same holds true for what I consider the strangest secret of successful living, especially during challenging times. You don't need to fully comprehend the mechanics to harness its power. This secret is simply this: we become what we think about most of the time. This principle operates with the same unwavering consistency as gravity. It doesn't care about your background, education, or current circumstances. The person focusing their thoughts on lack and limitation will manifest exactly that in their life. The individual who directs their mental energy toward abundance and opportunity will, with the same reliability, draw those conditions toward them. During difficult economic periods, most people fixate on their problems. They mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios and endlessly discuss their fears with anyone who will listen. They're using this principle, but in reverse, they're becoming precisely what they're thinking about: more worried, more limited, more stuck. The wise minority approaches things differently. They acknowledge reality but refuse to dwell there. Instead, they direct their mental spotlight toward possibilities. They ask better questions. What opportunity might this situation contain? How can I provide value now? What skills can I develop during this downturn? Your mind doesn't judge the quality of what you feed it. It simply accepts your predominant thoughts as instructions for manifestation. Think defeat, and you're defeated before you start. Think victory, and your actions naturally align with that expectation. I've observed this principle at work in the lives of thousands. During the Great Depression, some families surrendered to despair while others discovered new enterprises that flourished. During recessions, certain people lost everything while others built fortunes. The external conditions were identical. The internal conditions made all the difference. This isn't wishful thinking or magic. It's the practical application of a fundamental law. Your thoughts influence your feelings. Your feelings determine your actions. Your actions produce your results. Change the first link in this chain, your thoughts, and everything that follows must change accordingly. Here's a simple way to begin. For the next 30 days, start each morning by writing down your goals as if you've already achieved them. Feel the satisfaction of that achievement. Carry that feeling throughout your day. When negative thoughts intrude, gently replace them with your vision of success. Don't worry about understanding exactly how this works. You don't need to know how a seed transforms into an oak tree to plant one. You simply need to provide the right conditions and trust the process. In hard times, this strange secret becomes your greatest advantage. While others are broadcasting signals of fear and limitation, you'll be transmitting on the frequency of opportunity and growth. And like electricity flowing invisibly through wires, the power of your directed thought will illuminate pathways others cannot see. Lesson 8. The mindset of abundance. In times of scarcity, the man with an abundance mindset walks a different path than the crowd. While masses see only what is lacking, this rare individual sees the fullness of what remains and what can be created. This is the secret of prosperity during hard times. I've observed a curious fact throughout history. During our nation's darkest economic periods, a certain percentage of men and women not only survived but thrived beyond measure. What separated them wasn't superior intelligence, inherited wealth, or extraordinary luck. It was something far more accessible to each of us, their mindset. An abundance mindset isn't wishful thinking or blind optimism. Rather, it's a deliberate decision to focus on opportunities rather than obstacles, on solutions rather than problems. It's the farmer who sees the promise of harvest in a handful of seeds, while others see only their smallness. Consider the Great Depression, when most Americans lost everything they owned. Yet Joseph Kennedy built one of America's greatest fortunes during that very period. How? By recognizing that assets had tremendous value even when prices were temporarily depressed. He understood that economic winter, like nature's winter, isn't permanent but seasonal. The mind tuned to abundance asks different questions. Instead of "why is this happening to me?" it asks, "what is this teaching me?" Instead of "what have I lost?" it asks, "what do I still have to work with?" This shift seems subtle but creates dramatic differences in what you'll notice and what actions you'll take. Your mind is like a magnificent garden that will grow whatever you plant within it. Plant thoughts of lack, limitation, and fear, and you'll harvest precisely those fruits. But plant thoughts of abundance, opportunity, and gratitude, and your life will yield that harvest instead. The choice of seeds is entirely yours. Resources are seldom truly scarce. What's typically scarce is resourcefulness. The abundance thinker doesn't deny reality but refuses to be limited by temporary circumstances. When most see only closed doors, this person looks for windows, builds ladders, or simply creates their own entrance. Take inventory of what remains available to you right now. Your skills, relationships, time, health, ideas, and the basic tools at your disposal. I promise you that with these fundamental resources and the right mindset, you possess everything needed to begin creating prosperity today. The world mirrors back to us our deepest beliefs. If you see life as a constant struggle for limited resources, that's precisely what you'll experience. But when you operate from the unshakable conviction that abundance exists, even in challenging times, you'll discover opportunities invisible to others. Your mind is the most powerful economic tool you possess. While others are paralyzed by fear of loss, you can be energized by possibilities for gain. While they focus on surviving, you can focus on thriving, you can focus on thriving. The difference isn't in your circumstances, but in your perception of them. Make this abundance mindset your daily practice. Begin each morning by counting what you have rather than what you have or than what you lack. Ask empowering questions throughout your day. Surround yourself with others who share this outlook, and watch as your external world gradually transforms to match your internal vision of abundance. Lesson 9. The courage to persist. When the night is darkest, that's when the stars shine brightest. Consider this truth as we explore the remarkable power of persistence, that rare quality that separates those who merely wish from those who actually achieve. I've studied the lives of men and women who have risen from the depths of hardship to the heights of success, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that persistence is the one quality they all possessed. It's the ability to continue moving forward when every fiber of your being wants to retreat, when the evidence before your eyes suggests defeat is inevitable. Think about this. Most people quit just before the breakthrough occurs. They plant the seed of success, water it for a time, and then, growing impatient when results don't appear quickly enough, they abandon their garden. Little do they realize that beneath the surface, roots are forming, strength is building, and with just a little more time and attention, their efforts would break through to magnificent achievement. During hard times, persistence becomes not just important, but essential. When economic winds blow cold, the persistent person wraps himself more tightly in determination and presses forward. While others are paralyzed by fear, the persistent person takes one more step, makes one more phone call, attempts one more solution. What is the fuel that powers this remarkable quality? It's a crystal clear vision of your destination. When you can see your goal with perfect clarity, when you can taste it, feel it, and experience it in your imagination, persistence comes naturally. The clearer your vision, the stronger your persistence. Consider the humble postage stamp. Its usefulness comes from its ability to stick to one thing until it reaches its destination. Be like that postage stamp in your journey through difficult times. Stick to your purpose with unwavering dedication. Persistence isn't blind stubbornness, however. It's intelligent perseverance. Sometimes the path must change, but the destination remains fixed. The persistent person says, "This approach isn't working, so I'll try another," rather than, "This isn't working, so I quit." In your daily life, build the persistence muscle through small acts of self-discipline. Rise a little earlier. Complete tasks you'd rather postpone. Push yourself to go the extra mile when comfort calls you to stop. These small victories prepare you for the greater tests that hard times inevitably bring. Every successful person has faced the moment when giving up seemed the only sensible option. What separated them from the crowd was their decision to persist for just one more day, one more hour, one more hour, one more hour, one more minute. Make this your pledge today. I will persist until I succeed. Write it down. Say it aloud each morning. Let it become the drumbeat of your daily march forward. When doubt whispers in your ear, when fear grips your heart, when weariness weighs on your shoulders, persist. The rewards of persistence are not merely financial, though those will certainly come. The greatest reward is the person you become in the process. Someone who has proven to themselves that they have the courage to face any challenge, the strength to weather any storm, and the character to remain steadfast when others falter. Persistence is your bridge across the chasm of hard times to the solid ground of prosperity that awaits on the other side. Lesson 10. Being the lighthouse in the storm. Friends, there comes a time in the life of every man and woman when the tides of circumstance turn against the shore of our expectations. These are the moments that define us. Not the moments of easy sailing on calm seas, but rather those times when the winds howl and the waves crash against our vessels. The lighthouse stands tallest and serves its greatest purpose not during clear, sunny days, but in the darkest night when the storm rages at its fiercest. This is the perfect metaphor for your role during hard times. You see, most people react to difficulty by dimming their light. They retreat, they contract, they hide. But the successful person, the one who prospers while others falter, does exactly the opposite. They shine brighter, they stand taller, they become the very beacon that others seek in the darkness. Consider this fundamental truth. People are drawn to certainty during uncertain times. When fear grips the hearts of the many, the few who project confidence become natural leaders. When doubt clouds the minds of the masses, those with clear vision become the guides. To be this lighthouse requires 3 essential qualities. First, you must have an unshakable foundation. Your core values and principles must be cemented so deeply that no storm can topple you. What do you stand for? What will you never compromise regardless of external pressure? Answer these questions now, before the gale forces test your resolve. Second, your light must burn consistently. Consistency breeds trust, and trust is the currency of difficult times. The lighthouse doesn't flash brilliantly one moment and go dark the next. It maintains its steady, reliable pulse through the entire night. Similarly, your words, actions, and attitude must align in a dependable pattern that others can count on. Third, you must elevate your position to gain perspective. The lighthouse stands on high ground for a reason, to see beyond immediate dangers and guide vessels to safe harbor, while others become consumed by the problems directly in front of them. You must train yourself to maintain the higher view. From this vantage point, you'll spot opportunities invisible to those caught in the tumult below. Now, understand this. Becoming the lighthouse isn't merely for the benefit of others. The greatest reward comes to you. While you guide others to safety, you simultaneously navigate your own vessel to prosperous shores. This is the beautiful paradox of leadership during difficult times. By focusing outward, you secure your own advancement. In my travels across this great nation, I've witnessed ordinary men and women transform their fortunes by adopting this lighthouse mentality. During the deepest economic recessions, some people not only maintained their position, but strengthened it remarkably. Not through complex financial maneuvers, but through the simple power of becoming the confident, consistent, high-perspective guide that others desperately needed. Will you shine when darkness falls? Will you stand firm when the ground beneath others trembles? Will you see beyond the immediate storm to the clear skies that inevitably follow? These are not merely philosophical questions. They are the practical determinations that will decide whether you merely survive hard times or truly prosper through them. Lesson 11. Preparing for tomorrow's fortune today. The greatest fortune in life isn't found in what we have today, but rather in what we're preparing for tomorrow. It's a simple truth, but one that eludes so many good people who focus only on the immediate challenges before them. Think of the farmer who understands that winter isn't the time to harvest, but to repair tools, plan fields, and prepare seeds. The successful farmer doesn't curse the frozen ground. He uses this time wisely because he knows spring will come again. Just as surely as the seasons change, economic conditions move in cycles. Prosperity follows hardship with the certainty of dawn following darkness. Now, what steps can you take today that will position you for abundance when the economic climate inevitably shifts? First, you must become a student of trends. Learn to observe patterns in your industry, in the marketplace, in human behavior. The person who can anticipate needs before they become obvious stands to profit tremendously when those needs emerge. I've found throughout my life that the most successful people are those who position themselves at the crossroads of tomorrow's demand. They don't wait for opportunity to knock. They build the door before anyone else realizes a door will be needed. Consider this. During the Great Depression, more millionaires were created than during any previous period in American history. How could this be possible? Because these people understood that fortune favors the prepared mind. While others focused on what was being lost, these forward thinkers focused on what could be gained. You must adopt this mindset. Begin by asking yourself, what skills will be in demand when prosperity returns? What products will people need? What services will become essential? Then set about acquiring those skills or developing those products now, when others are too distracted by present difficulties to look ahead. Remember the story of the man who purchased seemingly worthless land during an economic downturn, only to discover it was positioned perfectly for development when the economy recovered. His secret wasn't luck, it was vision combined with preparation. Your greatest asset during hard times is your ability to think beyond them. Use this period to eliminate waste in your life and business, streamline your operations, perfect your craft, deepen your knowledge, strengthen your network of relationships. These actions cost little but pay tremendous dividends when opportunity returns. The prosperous person doesn't pray for fewer problems. They develop greater wisdom to solve them. They create value regardless of economic conditions. They serve others exceptionally well, knowing that service rendered today plants seeds for tomorrow's harvest. Take time each day to visualize the future you're working toward. See it clearly in your mind. Feel the satisfaction of having prepared wisely for its arrival. This mental rehearsal programs your subconscious mind to recognize and size opportunities others will miss. The path to prosperity isn't found in wishing for better times, but in preparing for them with absolute certainty that they will come. As you lay this foundation today, you're building tomorrow's fortune. One thought, one action, one day at a time. This is how you truly prosper, not despite hard times, but because of how you use them. Lesson 12. The power of persistent action. The greatest tragedy in life isn't that people set their aims too high and miss, but that they set them too low and hit the mark. This final principle is perhaps the most important of all. The power of persistent action. My friends, as we conclude our journey together, remember that knowledge without application is merely information. Information alone cannot change your life. Think of it this way. If you were to travel across a desert, would you rather have a map or water? The map shows you the way, but the water sustains you for the journey. This book has provided your map through difficult times, but your persistent action is the water that will sustain you. What separates those who prosper in hard times from those who merely survive or even fail? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's the simple willingness to do what others will not. To take persistent action when others retreat. Notice what happens in nature. The mighty oak doesn't grow to its magnificent height overnight. It faces storms, drought, and competition for sunlight. Yet it persists, adding one ring of growth each year, never stopping its upward journey. You must become like the oak. The human mind works in a curious way. When we persist at any endeavor, we build not just skill, but belief. And belief is the foundation of all achievement. When you take action despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite criticism, you build an unshakable faith in your own capabilities. I've observed that most people quit just before their breakthrough moment arrives. They plant the seed, water it for a while, and then, not seeing immediate results, they dig it up to see if it's growing. Of course, this destroys the very thing they hope to nurture. Your prosperity works the same way. The actions you take today may not bear fruit tomorrow, but they are building the foundation for your inevitable success. Let me share a simple formula. Goal, setting plus daily action plus time equals achievement. Most people understand goal setting. Many even take action for a while. But few have the patience to allow time to work its magic. Persistence is the multiplier that makes ordinary efforts produce extraordinary results. During the hardest times, when everyone else is panicking, the persistent person sees opportunity. While others focus on problems, you focus on solutions. While others complain about conditions, you adapt to them. While others wait for better times, you create better times through your consistent efforts. Remember this. Hard times don't last, but hard people do. The principles you've learned throughout this book aren't just for emergencies or difficult economic periods. They are timeless truths that work in any circumstance, in any era, for any person willing to apply them consistently. Your prosperity isn't determined by external conditions. It's determined by your response to those conditions. And the most powerful response is always persistent, purposeful action. Take what you've learned, apply it consistently, and watch as the world rearranges itself to accommodate your worthy goals. The power is yours. It always has been. Now go forward and prosper, not despite hard times, but because of how they've strengthened you.